we are officially less than 48 hours away from Ahsoka. Welcome back, everybody. Clan Brandalorian. I'm the Brandalorian, and let's get into this today. It's everywhere, as we see a lot on social media, all over the internet, and on some billboards in certain cities across the world. Ahsoka is almost here. And for a lot of people who are fans of the animated series, the Clone Wars, Tales of the Jedi, Bad Batch, of course, Rebels, a lot of animated fans are super excited to get the one and only Ahsoka Tano in live action, but in her own show. And I think Ahsoka will bring back Disney Star Wars. As we do know with Disney Star Wars, there's some rushed projects, there's some poor writing, poorly written characters, but with Ahsoka, I think this is going to revamp Star Wars back to what it used to be. Of course, not to George's level, but at the same time, we have Dave Filoni, and of course, let Filoni cook.
Let Filoni cook. Let Filoni cook.
This is a new era. We're getting Dave Filoni, live action, the head guy. So here are just a couple things going into Ahsoka that I want you guys to know. So of course we know Ahsoka Tano is Anakin Skywalker's apprentice. Going back to the Clone Wars, she endures a lot of new missions and a lot of new training under Anakin Skywalker himself. And throughout the Clone Wars, we do see that she is arrogant in some ways, and she's just a young child at that point. More so a teenager, but definitely shows some child side to her character. But as she gets older, as she accepts Anakin's training, she definitely grows into the young woman that we see towards the Rebels timeline. And of course, with some of the downfall of Order 66, almost losing Rex, but ultimately losing her friends, losing her masters such as Anakin Skywalker, friends like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ayla Secura, Plo Koon. It's very sad. Having huge roles, almost joining Maul. Should she have joined Maul? Maybe. Ahsoka, of course, growing up into the woman she is in Rebels, definitely stands up for herself and puts everything on the line for Ghost Crew and especially Ezra. And then, of course, fast forwarding into the Mandoverse, we see her in The Mandalorian Season 2 in the episode The Jedi, and we learn that she is on the planet Corvus. She still has some contacts with Bo-Katan Kryze, and this is how Din Djarin ultimately finds out that Ahsoka is a person, is a Jedi. He wants to get Grogu to his people, quote unquote, the Jedi, from what he knows, and Ahsoka Tano is his number one target. And of course, they team up against Morgan Elsbeth, and now Ahsoka's main plan is to find Thrawn. Of course, we get Ahsoka Tano. Everyone loves her, and we're getting Thrawn welcomed into live action. This is so huge. So it's going to be great to see the dynamic that Dave Filoni is putting together for us to see as Star Wars fans. My number one advice going into Ahsoka is just knowing the little things about her character, whether you're a huge Star Wars fan, whether you're a casual Star Wars fan, or you're just getting into Star Wars. There's a lot of stuff that can be learned from Ahsoka Tano, but at the same time, there's such little to know about her to understand her character, to understand Anakin Skywalker, and to understand what's going into this show in particular. But I think a lot of fans all across the board will enjoy this project, and I am more than excited for this project. And to finish that off, some good advice from me would be go into Ahsoka fresh. Allow yourself to understand Dave's writing, to understand the picture being portrayed by all the directors, and just simply try to enjoy it. I feel like there's a lot of fans and a lot of people who watch these newly Star Wars series, and they expect so much that you can't enjoy it after a first episode, which to me, in my opinion, is ridiculous. Give it some time, let it marinate. Everything the first time watching is weird, especially listening to like a new album. All the songs sound the same at first, but once you really dissect those certain songs, you start to understand the great story being told behind the music. And I think that translates into movies as well. If you want to go into this fresh, allow yourself, because in my opinion as well, I don't think that the show is going to flop. I don't think it even has the opportunity to flop. It's Dave Filoni, George Lucas's apprentice. We're getting Ahsoka Tano. Rosario Dawson is going to do a great job portraying Ahsoka Tano. We're getting the other characters from the animated show Rebels, like Sabine Wren, Hera Syndulla, and we're also getting a young Jason Syndulla. We're getting new villains such as Balin Skull and Shin Hati. Ultimately, Morgan Elsbeth and Thrawn. This is going to be huge. But with that being said, go into this fresh. Allow yourself to like it. Dissect the content. Put it together how you would enjoy it. Maybe you don't like it, and plain and simple, you don't like it. But at least you gave it a shot. And I hope this video gets you kind of prepared in a certain way to allow this to be fresh. Allow this to be a good time, and allowing yourself to be ready for the show ultimately. And like I've said, I think this show is going to be the biggest show of 2023, and I think it will be right there, if not top The Mandalorian. Also, every Wednesday we are going to do a breakdown video on the channel, so make sure that you subscribe, like the content, that way you'll never miss it. So every Wednesday from now on, we're doing breakdown videos of each episode, and this Wednesday we will have 2 breakdowns in one video going over episode 1 and 2 that we are getting Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Time. So with that being said, guys, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those breakdowns. May the Force be with you, and we'll see you Wednesday. Brandalorian, I'm out.